Good morning everyone. In this video we will start our next topic, that is flow control valves. The speed of the actuator is very important in terms of the desired output, and it needs to be controlled. The speed of actuator can be controlled by regulating the fluid flow. The flow control valve can regulate the flow or the pressure of the fluid, and the fluid flow is controlled by varying the area of the valve opening through which the fluid passes. You can see the schematic diagram of a very commonly used flow control valve. The fluid flow can be decreased by reducing the area of the valve opening, and it can be increased by increasing the area of the valve opening. The pressure adjustment screw that you can see in the figure, that will vary the fluid flow area in the pipe to control the discharge of the fluid. The pressure drop across the valve that may be fluctuating, and in general the hydraulic systems have a pressure compensating pump. The inlet pressure remains almost constant, but the outlet pressure that keeps changing or keeps fluctuating depends on the external load. It creates fluctuation in pressure drop, and the ordinary flow control valve will not be able to maintain a constant fluid flow. The pressure compensated flow control valve maintains the constant flow throughout the movement of the spool, which shifts its position depending on the pressure. Flow control valves can also be affected by the temperature changes, and it is because of the viscosity of the fluid that changes with the temperature. Therefore, the advanced flow control valves often have the temperature compensation. The temperature compensation that is basically achieved by the external thermal expansion of the rod, which compensates for the increased coefficient of discharge due to decreased viscosity with the temperature. There are various types of flow control valves available, and we will go through that one by one. The flow control valve works on applying a variable restriction in the flow path, and based on the construction there are mainly four types, that is the plug valve, the butterfly valve, then ball valve, and balanced valve. So let us go through this one by one. First one is a plug valve, that is also known as a glove valve. The plug valve, this type of valve is quite commonly used, and it is also termed as a glove valve. You can see from the figure, this valve has a plug which can be adjusted in a vertical direction by setting the flow adjustment screw. The adjustment of the plug alters the size of the orifice between the plug and the valve seat. So therefore, the adjustment of the plug controls the fluid flow in the pipeline. The characteristic of this type of valves can be accurately predetermined by machining the taper of the plug. The typical example of a plug valve is the stopcock that is used in the laboratory glassware. The valve body is made of glass, or it may be made of the Teflon. The plug can be made of plastic or glass. Special glass stopcocks are made for vacuum applications, and stopcock grease is used in high vacuum application to make the stopcock airtight. Second type of flow control valve is the butterfly valve. So you can see a very commonly used and very simple schematic diagram of the butterfly valve. It consists of a disc which can rotate inside the pipe. The angle of disc determines the restriction of the flow, and in butterfly valves that can be made of any size, and they are widely used in the control of the flow gases. These valves have many types, which have for different pressure ranges and for different applications. The resilient butterfly valves uses the flexibility of rubber and has the lowest pressure ratings. The high performance butterfly valves have a slight offset in the way the disc is positioned, and that's why it increases its sealing ability and it decreases the wear. For high pressure systems, the triple offset butterfly valve is suitable, which makes use of a metal seat, and therefore they are able to withstand high pressure. It has high risk of leakage on the shut-off position, and it suffers from the dynamic torque effect. The butterfly valves are favored because of their lower cost, and they are lighter in weight. The disc is always present in the flow, therefore pressure drop is induced regardless of the valve position. So we can say that the butterfly type of valve is very commonly used, and they are very cheap in comparison with the other type of flow control valves. The third type of flow control valve is the balanced valve. It is made of two plugs and two seats. The opposite flow gives little dynamic reaction on the actuator shaft, and it results in the negligible dynamic torque effect. The leakage is more in this kind of valves because the manufacturing tolerances can cause one plug to sit before the other. So it is quite necessary that both the plugs, plug 1 and plug 2, that they sit together and they raise together. The pressure balanced valve are used in houses. They provide water at nearly constant temperature to shower or to bathtub, and whether they are hot or cold, we can use this type of balanced valves. So these are the three basic types of flow control valves. Next topic is the accumulators. A hydraulic accumulator is a device that stores the potential energy of the incompressible fluid held under pressure by an external source against some dynamic force. This dynamic force can come from different sources. The stored potential energy in the accumulator is a quick secondary source of the fluid power that is capable of doing some useful work. So there are many types of accumulators, and we will understand the basic types of accumulators, starting with the first one, that is weight loaded accumulator. It is also known as a gravity accumulator. You can see from the figure, it is a vertically mounted cylinder with a large weight on the top of the cylinder, and you can see in the figure at the top of the figure a dead load is given, that is the large weight. When the hydraulic fluid is pumped, the weight is raised, and after that the weight applies a force on the piston that generates a pressure on the fluid side of the piston. The advantage of this type of accumulator over other types is that it applies a constant pressure on the fluid throughout its range of the motion, that you can see in the graph, that is fluid pressure versus volume of the fluid. You can see the constant fluid pressure, the horizontal line indicates that, and it will reach up to maximum volume of the fluid in accumulator. The main disadvantage is that it's extremely large in size and it is very heavy in weight. So it is not suitable for mobile applications. The second type of accumulator is the spring-loaded accumulator. The spring-loaded accumulator that stores energy in the form of a compressed spring. Hydraulic fluid is pumped into the accumulator that is similar to the first one, and that will cause the piston to move in upward direction, and this movement will compress the spring that you can see in the figure. The compressed spring then applies a force on the piston that exerts a pressure on the hydraulic fluid, and that is responsible for generating pressure. This type of accumulator delivers only a small volume of oil at relatively low pressure, and the pressure exerted on the oil is not constant as in the first type, that is dead weight type accumulator. As the springs are compressed, the accumulator pressure reaches its peak, and as the spring approaches the free length, the accumulator pressure drops to the minimum. So this is the disadvantage of this type of accumulator that you can see in the graph. The relation between the fluid pressure and volume of the fluid accumulator is increasing starting from the origin of the graph. So fluid pressure is not constant, that depends on the position of the spring. The third type of accumulator is the gas loaded accumulator, that you can see the schematic diagram of the accumulator in the figure and a graph that is fluid pressure versus volume of the fluid. A gas loaded accumulator is popularly used in the industry, and here the force is applied on the oil by using the compressed air. A gas accumulator can be very large and is often used with water or high water based fluids using air or air as a gas charge. So typical application is on water turbines to absorb the pressure surges that are owing to valve closure, and on the ram pumps to smooth out the delivery flow. The exact shape of the accumulator characteristic curve that depends on the pressure volume relations. So you can see from the figure that shows a graph of fluid pressure versus the volume of the fluid, and you can see one curve that shows the relation between the two quantities. If we compare these three accumulators, then we can see that if we want a constant fluid pressure flow, then we have to go for the first one, that is gravity accumulator. But in that case, the main disadvantage is the size of the accumulator. So we have to choose for which type of application what is required. If a stationary application is there, then we can go for the gravity accumulator. But for mobile applications, it is not feasible as the size and weight of that accumulator is very high. So these are the three types of accumulators that is very important considering the GTU examination. Now, task of this video is you have to write down two questions. First one is you have to explain various flow control valves with a neat sketch, and the second you have to explain various accumulators with neat sketch. In flow control valve we have seen total three types of flow control valves, that is the plug valve or the glove valve, then second is butterfly valve, and the third one the balanced valve. And the second question we learned in this video is the various types of accumulators. So again it is having three types. First one is the weight loaded or gravity accumulator, second spring loaded accumulator, and the third one the gas loaded accumulator. So hope you have understand everything. Complete this task and submit on a Google Classroom. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.